good morning, good afternoon, we're back. Oh, that means something bad's happened. Yes, we're back in lockdown. It's the 9th of November, and Mark Linton last week said, you are bringing the show back, aren't you? And I went, no, I don't want to do it again. But he persuaded me, he bent my arm, up my back, and we've now back live Monday, Wednesday and Friday during lockdown, and that'll be it then. I'm not going to spoil your Christmas and be here every day, so don't worry about that. Before we bring anybody on, let's just quickly do the headlines because there's some big breaking news. Stand by. So, breaking news, the milestone vaccine is going to offer 90% COVID protection. The vaccine uses an experimental approach to train the immune system to fight the virus. This has just come out. It's breaking news. I'm not sure when it's going to be released. It looks like it could be this year, but it could be big news. So we're going to keep an eye on that as the news streams come out because that's all the information that we are getting. But other headlines. Joe Biden pushes forward with plans for office. His team says his priorities are the coronavirus pandemic, the economy, racism, and climate change. And obviously get Trump out the toilet because he's going to lock himself in there. So, also, quick breakthrough as the quick test is going to be used in airports. So, to speed everything up, you come back, you pay your money, you get tested when you're coming back from any country in the world, and you only have to quarantine for 7 days. That's going to happen when we come out of lockdown, which is brilliant. So, that's the brief headlines. Let's bring on and see who's here today on our first show back in lockdown version 2. Maz is here! Hey!
Howdy.
Hello. And the person who dragged us all back in, I thought they'd left us and they pulled me back in, is Mark Linton from the Business Growth Network.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
It's lovely.
I'm trying to share my link, actually. I'm being very technophobe at the moment. I can't remember. Because
how do you do it?
Oh, you go to Facebook, go to the you're going to have to go to the Bullock's Business Banter page.
Yeah.
And then share it from there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry, I've just realised you've just asked a load of questions in the private chat. I didn't check that. So go to the Facebook page, Business Banter, and then share it from there and do the watch party. You know what? I'm going to do the same. Even though we are literally on every single platform this morning. It's just amazing. YouTube, Twitch, we're on Twitch, Facebook, everything. So... how's it like being back? What's it like being back in version 2?
Oh, God.
By the way, guys, did you see what I've done the watch party or no?
Oh, people love this at the start of the show. They said this is the bit that everybody loves. Is Maz trying to figure out how the hell to do the...
It's because I don't use Facebook.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You need a social media expert.
Well, yeah, we're waiting for you.
And you, Mark. Right, let me have a look. Let me see what's going on here. We've got viewers all over the world because I'm getting texts from everybody here at the moment. That's always the same on the first one to see if anything's different, and then they realise nothing's changed.
Oh,
so
well, I think it has changed. I mean, okay. I mean, obviously, while you're working at that, and it's there.
Go on, you do a talk.
I just wanted to kick off with, it's great news that, Biden is in, and I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the relief, if you like, that Trump is out. Yeah, and at the same time, yes, there's two camps in this thing, two divides. But what I'd like to say to the president, president-elect, as it is, as his current status is, it's great that you're in. And it's great that you have such a vision for where the USA is going to be and how you're going to bring your country together. But please, don't start meddling with what Great Britain's doing. Whether you voted, and we're still going over this on Brexit, whether we voted in or out. The fact is that you're now looking at, if the UK doesn't abide by the Good Friday Agreement, if it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that, then simply the US, United States of America, will look to do something different. We won't have that special relationship. Well, again, you need to focus on what's going on in the USA, in the US right now, rather than what's going on the world stage. And I know that's what a superpower wants to do is I'll be on the world stage, but focus on your home territory first.
That's quite true. But from the stuff that I've heard this morning, now this is, I won't name names, I won't do that, but it's weird what's happening in the States at the moment if you're living there. You both drank out your cups at the same time. That was weird. Literally, it was choreographed. Those I know we're going to go into the scandal side of things because of the way Trump's dealing with it, but there is something weird, I've been told, that overnight on that voting night, 4 million votes suddenly did appear in one state. That it was really weird. So I don't think it's as straight cut as we think it is. Yeah. Bear with everybody. Grant Stain is here.
Get out of it. Grant!
There he is. Woo!
How are we doing, guys?
We got the party back.
Got the posse back. Are you walking around Knoll there, Grant, or are you? Where are you?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm just a bit held up this morning, so I'm finishing off my little walk and recording a few videos out and about.
Excellent, brilliant. That's superb. So we're just catching up on obviously Trump news and the presidential news, which I'm not sure if you followed over the past week. But I was just saying that somebody I know in the States just said it's very weird what's happened. There's a lot of people who are dead who had votes coming in, and they found this out. And also people who were named, cats and dogs had voting papers sent in. So
yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
It's very strange. It's really weird. And I obviously Trump's picked up on this. It was close anyway, I think. I think it was still very close. But it's just...
That's the problem, though, isn't it? It was too close. And if your cats and dog have got votes as well, I mean, I'm not being funny. I would have issue with that.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. But what we're going to do, because Maz... Oh, go on.
Dog person.
He's not a dog person. You're not a dog person, Mark. You've got cats, haven't you, Mark?
I know some people who really would want to give their pets the vote.
Well, sometimes, yeah, your pets are your best friends sometimes. So, it's just the way it is. Right, Maz, here we go then. You've got Maz's monologue. She's got a little bit of an intro, so let's give her this. Here we go.
I love that. Thank you. So, a professor from King's College London has said that data suggested that the second wave has already peaked. And also it's clear that the worst hit areas, we're seeing actually the infections fall. And I know we're in the second wave of lockdown. And for me personally, I'm not happy because the data released over the weekend suggests that the UK coronavirus outbreak has already peaked. And actually, this just goes to show that the UK government really need to listen to a wider range of experts, not just a few who cherry pick the facts to justify the doomsday scenario and their destruction for the economy and then ruining the lives of millions of people who are unaffected by COVID-19. And this is why, including myself, the public are losing faith in the science. Personally, I don't think there was even a second wave, and I know that me and Grant sing from the same hymn sheet on this one. And we've said this before, that now that we're approaching December, this is actually quite normal behavior for seasonal viruses. It will peak again after Christmas and again, and panic will ensue. If we weren't having it constantly repeated every single day, plugged into us, people would be carrying on with normal life, completely unaware. And just to add, just because you actually test positive does not mean that you're seriously ill and you're going to end up in hospital. In fact, it's been just the opposite. We've had 47,000 deaths is what they've said is for this lockdown that happened again, is nothing compared to the normal winter flu, which is 60,000 plus. Did we really need a second lockdown? I mean, the cure is killing the patient. And for me, I don't call this a lockdown. I call it the destructive lockdown that is killing people with other diseases who can't get treatments and is killing jobs and livelihoods. I mean, we need to now stop and focus on fixing our economy and let the vulnerable stay home by choice and wait for new times. It just simply can't continue. And every day I lose what's left of the little trust I have in the government. Now is the time to, I say, stop playing games, give back everybody's lives, and treat us as grown-ups, because we're not going to have anything left at this rate. Okay, enough of the rant. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we weren't sure where you were going to finish then, Maz. Sorry, I do apologise. I wasn't. I was watching, but I wasn't sure if you were going to. That was a natural pause. But anyway, so obviously on the back of the news that we've just had regarding. Now I'm going to have trouble pronouncing this. It's a pharmaceutical company. Is it Pfizer? Is it PZ?
Pfizer.
Right. So they've said a bit more news is coming through now. That the vaccine they've tested and it's finished its testing offers 90% COVID protection. So we still haven't got a date for when it's going to release, but it's been tested and done and ready to go. So that's got to be good news, isn't it?
Yeah, but get this: would you want to be the first guinea pig to be tested on this? It's a bit like what Maz says. And Grant said all along, is this anything different now in the second phase than the flu? I mean, and I'm not saying, I mean, obviously, of course, it's more different than that, but to be the first to be tested on this, yes, they've trialled it in USA, in Germany, and places like that, but how long does it take for these tests to come through?
Well, I don't know because they haven't got that many details on it, so I'm not sure. But I'd take it. I'd test it. I don't know what. They've already done the testing to make sure it's not going to give you a second head. So that's. I just want to make if they've tested it and I'll believe it, let's carry on with it and get on with it. Let's get everybody vaccinated. I'm just bored of it now. Yeah. I really am.
There is an element of that, lockdown syndrome. How much is it taking more lives than it's actually, this coronavirus is taking more lives through non-corona infections, i.e. cancer, depression, suicide, all these sort of things.
No, that's definitely right. And also, I'm not sure. Look, I know there's still people dying every day, but there's a lot of people catching it, and they're just dealing with it. Our neighbours over the road, they are 55 and 65. He's not trim. He doesn't do much exercise, but he's had it. He's had a rough few days. He said he ate really ate everywhere. Both of them did. But they've come out the other end. They said that it's like bronchitis, he said, with his chest. And he said he's come out the other end of it and he's just tired. So is this a different strain? I don't know. Just let's get the vaccine out there and get it sorted. Grant,
I think,
come on.
I mean, I'm just so confused and fed up with it all now, I've got to admit, because the fact that we're having this debate and the fact that we are everybody's still, complaining about the government and, arguing about which scientist is right and which scientist is wrong, looking at so many different projections as to what's going on. I must admit, I'm absolutely sick to death of it. This second lockdown has really, really frustrated me, I've got to admit, because blooming gyms are shut again, that's the worst bit for me. The gym shutting is just, I mean, I've got to admit this lockdown's better than the last one because we are allowed to go out and have a walk with somebody else from another household as a form of exercise, which is a great relief, I must admit, because I was able to go for a walk with my dad on Saturday. I went for a walk with Bruno yesterday, my son who's at uni, and that is brilliant, But, I mean, as far as the vaccine's concerned, I do know somebody who was part of the trials, who's a guy, I think he's either sort of late 50s, early 60s, who was part of the trials. I know people like Ed's mum, who's 83, 84, something like that. She got COVID, and she was ill for a week. Bad case of a cold. Fully recovered. I know lots of people have had it now. One thing I will say, as this thing has gone on, I do know lots of people now have had COVID, varying from close to being hospitalised to, in fact, one of my partners at Blam had it for many months, and he was very, very ill. Same age as me, fit guy,
Yeah.
but very ill for a number of months. But what frustrates the hell out of me is, who's ever heard prior to COVID? We'd never heard of a disease that you could catch that didn't affect children, randomly affects people from killing them through to they don't even know they've got it. I mean, is this normal? I mean, this is just.
I don't think it is.
Before this, we'd never have. It just, the whole thing is just crazy, isn't it?
I mean, what about this mink thing in Denmark?
Yeah.
I mean, that sort of broke over the weekend, and that for me is flipping scary because it's the minks have caught it off the humans.
Yeah.
It's changed its genetical makeup and then reinfected other humans. Hang on a minute. Are we in we're in some sort of film now, surely. This is a weird science fiction-y drug thing, and it's just, I'm just a bit worried about it. I really am, because if that's going to happen, we've got no chance of catching it. But this vaccine, it's bleeping through. I don't know if anybody else has had any details on it.
I've just noticed and just been reading, the UK government have ordered 30 million 30 million of these vaccinations, and they're saying they'll be available soon and they'll be tested. Now, this kind of fits in with where Maz is saying. They'll be tested on the elderly and frail and those at high risk. Surely, I'm not being funny. You don't know what the outcome of this is, really. It's not gone for the same rigorous test. They're looking for an emergency license to do this. And yet, what you want to do is give it to the people most vulnerable to actually dying from it. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, are we all then going to be used as lab rats and all the rest of it just to get this through? Yes, I want to see the economy open. I want to see the country get back to, and the world get back to normal, but at what cost?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm over 50 now, and I should have been offered a flu jab. I haven't even had one of them, a standard flu jab. So other people have been offered them. I haven't. Wow. And it's just, you think, have you been offered one?
Yeah, I'm over 50 as well, but I'm just trying to ignore it.
It's not like you're going to wear it as a badge. You know, I'm over 50. I've had the flu jab. You don't have to worry about that.
I'm not over 50 though. Yeah.
There we go.
Really? Me and Maz are young snappers.
I know. Yeah.
Hang on, Grant. You're getting closer.
Nah.
Miles away. But yeah, I'll take it. I'll put my name down for it. I don't care. I just want to move on now. I am, me. Well, you all know me because obviously I've just moved my camera around in the past 6 months. That's all I've done, and so we're now pointing a different section of the room. And I'm quite comfortable staying in. But you know what? I'm just a bit bored as well now. I want to go out. I just want to go out and whatever. It's. I think this one's worse than the first one. I don't know what it is.
It is. I totally agree with that. I've got my staff phoning me up saying, "Can we come into the office?"
Yeah.
Really?
People are absolutely. Yeah, they're stir crazy.
Yeah, me and Mark started to think of things with the networking lunches as well, didn't we, Mark? And people were coming and saying, "Wow, we're so happy. We're really enjoying this. It's so glad to be back to normality." And we were keeping our distances. We had the mask, and we were just adjusting to the new normal. And then this happened. It just completely threw me and Mark off like, "Whoa, hang on a minute. What do we do now?" Isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that I'm not seeing and I'm hearing murmurs of is Wales are now open for business, and yet they're saying that the numbers, and in some areas, are still high. So where's that going? I mean, you know, they've had a lockdown, a fire break. You know, we need to.
They won't get any results from that for another 2 weeks yet. It'll take from the point they start it. It's 4 weeks to get any type of turnaround.
Because Scotland went in early, and I mean, don't even get me debated on the whole. You know, Scotland do their bit, Northern Ireland do their bit, Wales do their bit, and finally, yeah, we should be united up front in this.
I mean, Wales took their lockdown to a completely different level, where Tesco, Asda, all these other places. That was ridiculous. Stealing section, kettles, toasters. You know, how do you know that people don't need that? How do you know people don't need to buy uniforms? That was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, don't worry. England have taken an approach. Poundland can open. W.H. Smith can open.
England got to the point where they said Woolworths can open again. I don't understand that. But it is weird. But how do you think it's affecting business? So obviously, all of us are connected with business in some sort of way. Grant, how are you seeing things with people and your partners and business moving forward? Is it being affected?
I keep saying this, you know, to the partners. In a way, this whole thing has been, you know, has been really good for business. You know, we've had the best year ever this year. Our products and services are now more important than ever. So, but you have to be quite sensitive about it because there's so many businesses that have struggled. I mean, for example, you know, just the night before lockdown, we had one pub who was getting so many orders through the app, they asked us to turn it off. You know, it was they were just being absolutely inundated. So, you know, our business has thrived during it because obviously we're all about digital. But you know, that doesn't stop me from thinking it's a bad thing because it's, you know, the lockdown is crippling the economy. There's a lot of positive, you know, we do like to moan. I'm just fed of being stuck at home again now. But having said that, what we saw, I saw some brilliant stats. Obviously, we do a lot of following of digital marketing. We do a lot of training and whatnot. And there was a stat that came through a couple of weeks ago now that said in the previous 90 days, there'd been 10 years worth of growth with online marketing. 10 years worth of growth in the space of 3 months. So what we have seen is this vast migration to businesses embracing a digital strategy because they had to. And that is combined with consumers being forced to use digital technology to purchase, you know, to book tables, to do their scan and test and trace and all that sort of stuff. And so we have seen this whole scale adoption to embracing digital technology, which is a positive in my view, because it is going to help businesses as we come out of this. That because there's been so many businesses for so many years, particularly small businesses, who have kind of buried their heads in the sand a bit and sort of not really paid attention to their website, not really paid attention to their marketing strategy, carried on doing things the traditional way. They haven't been able to do that because of this situation, and the ones that survive are the ones that embrace that. So for us, demand far outweighs supply. You know, the more partners I can get, the more business we can do, because we you know, every single business doesn't need convincing that they need a digital strategy right now.
No, that's true. I think it's very true. I mean, how's the network been affected, Mark? With your, I mean, obviously you're going to go back online again because you've done a major thing today, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, this is it, isn't it? It's like Grant says, you've got to be sensitive. There are people suffering out there, but at the same time, you know, myself and Maz is one of our event hosts as well. We've tackled it head on because we haven't been given any support financially. We haven't been given any opportunity to tap into the furlough, all of this. And what that has meant is we've had to be different and ingenious on how we're doing things. And through this network, through you guys, within a couple of days of the first lockdown, we took our events online. Now we run 5 meetings a week online, and we've got over 100 members now. And we didn't have anywhere near that when we started this journey. Now, that's a great thing. But at the same time, I feel that the digital side, as Grant said, will be a hybrid of you still have to do digital and you'll do face-to-face stuff. And what will happen is people will use the digital to reach out and build relationships and then go to a face-to-face meeting because it's qualified and because it means a lot. And then takes it from there.
No, it's I think everything's got to move forward, isn't it? It's over the past few months, as we've all said. Everybody's moved on to digital, and they've really had to do it to survive. I mean, Maz, you've been doing stuff online as well, haven't you? Regarding your training and your talks.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a big believer that office time was essential for productivity, but actually, remote working during the pandemic has proven me completely wrong. Not only has productivity increased, so has happiness, and equally important. We're free to hire the best people anywhere rather than being limited by, the geography. And going forward, I highly doubt that we will ever go back to 5 a day a week office culture. I mean, I'm really fortunate. I had some very good people like Mark, who supported me when I said I've never done online. He called me, he said, "What do you mean you've never done online? Embrace the change." And for me, those 4 or 5 months were about survival. And come to the last quarter of the year, and I'm really fortunate that now I'm actually thriving. And I am grateful to people like Mark who gave me that confidence and courage, who believed in me. But equally understand there's a lot of people out there who this is going to cripple. And you feel really sorry for them who've not had the support. And you think, did we really need this?
Yeah. No, definitely. No,
it is, Matt, sorry. I'd like to say Grant's touch on this. I know he's got some great customers in the restaurants and the takeaway side of things. This second lockdown, I've seen more coffee shops delivering, more standard restaurants saying we can deliver for you. Surely the likes of Uber, Deliveroo, trying to eat out. I think it's eat out. But do you know what I mean? All these apps.
Just eat.
That's it. All these apps are. Yeah, they're great, but going to someone, and it's not a massive plug for you, Grant, but going to someone like you as a developer in this and say, do your own marketing, use your system, don't pay the big commissions, because everyone's got used to now of pick up the phone, go on the website, get a delivery in from their local lovely, loved, if you like, restaurant.
No, that's right.
That's one of our plugs, is that obviously if restaurants get their own app for delivery or takeout, they don't pay commission. So the idea is that they still use Just Eat, Uber Eats and so on for their outbound marketing to get new customers. But once they do that delivery, they encourage their customers to move on to their own app, where they don't have to pay commissions and they can build up a loyalty scheme within their own business. So that people are encouraged then to use the app for that individual, because it's like when especially during the last lockdown, we all had our favourite when takeout started happening again. We all had our favourites, didn't we? All had the ones that we were going to use over and over again. And if every time you use your local takeout through Just Eat or Uber, you're giving them 20% plus every time.
It's a lot.
And that is hard for a small business. That is really hard. And if you're just going to go there and you're not going to use anybody else, they need to get their own app, because that way they can save a lot of money and they get proper support from their loyal customers.
That's true. I think the app thing is definitely important, and they do sting that. I don't think people realise how much these takeaways get stung for that 20%. It's quite horrendous. But that is it for today. That's our half an hour. That's sped past. It's been brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody who joined us. And also Mark, Grant and Maz as well. Thanks for that. We're going to leave you with something funny, as we always do. It's a Trump thing. I found it yesterday. Actually, my dad sent it me, which was amazing. Still sent things on email. Can't share them on Facebook. But anyway, we will see you on Wednesday, where we'll be talking about some charity stuff that Mark wants to talk about. And hopefully we'll have some more news about the vaccine. So everybody, we'll see you on Wednesday. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Mama just killed a man, put a gun up against his head. pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, oh, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I've never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, when you do the fun, done go. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from his monstrosity.
Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Build a wall, no, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go. No. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has the devil put aside for me, for me, for me.